But like, there's always talk about you guys and the music that you grew up listening to, which was mostly English rock bands of the 80s or English whatever bands of the 80s. The thing is that the Springsteen mentioned quite a bit about this album here now. So is it that part of America in terms of like, not necessarily the coasts, not necessarily the bits that we hear about all the time or the music centres, but there's the heartland of America that maybe you didn't even realise when you were growing up how much you appreciated, and now, having gone away, you really do. Like, you know, the big skies around Las Vegas, for instance.
That was a big part of it, yeah. It's things that you take for granted, and a lot of things that are dying. Also, I think, kind of creep up on this album that seem to be. It's a sad thing, and we're kind of there to share it, I guess.
Okay, well, like, you're in a band, you make an album, it all happens very quick for you guys. You go to Japan, you go to Europe and all the rest of it. You probably had an idea beforehand what that might be like. What was it like? Or is it just hotel room, stage, studio, hotel room, stage, studio? Did you get to see it? Did you get to soak up anything? Or did you realise, maybe I just want to stay at home forever and never tour again?
Well, it's a little bit of the hotel room stage. And when we get a day off, we get to see things, and I think it was different maybe than we thought it was. And sometimes it was more similar. It was, in some ways, it was completely different, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Like, a lot of ways, other places aren't that different than America, but in some ways they're completely different, and it's hard to explain the picture you have in your head of what it's going to be like. You know, like, you listen, like the UK, for example, you listen to the Beatles or the Smiths or whatever, and you have all these, like, fantastic dreams of what it'd be like, and then when you get there, it's just another place, but then completely different than your home at the same time, but not like you imagined it.
Right, but it's not necessarily the fact that a dream has shattered or anything. I mean, like, for me growing up, say, something like Neil Young and these canyons of California with all these singer-songwriter things, and if I go and visit there and I realise, oh yeah, this is great, but you know, I wouldn't mind getting home. It's fine, you know, like, seeing where it is. Now, just outside this door here is Manchester, England, as in the Smiths, as in something that you seriously grew up listening to. So, you've seen Manchester. I bet you, if you ever saw it again, you wouldn't worry about it. Once is enough, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice place.
But like, it doesn't take away from the
music. It doesn't take away from the fantasy that I did have of the place. I still remember what that felt like, but it's not that place. You know, it's a different. You know, it's its own entity.
Right, yeah. But like, were you at a step when you were growing up listening to this music? I mean, was it Nirvana and was it sort of heavier metal kind of bands from where you were, and you were into Psychedelic Furs and maybe David Bowie and New Order and everything English, everything British? But had you got people to, like, is this the way it was? You four together listening to all this kind of music? And I know the four of you weren't together at the very beginning, but do you know what I mean? Like, was that a common thread of you guys coming together?
We all listened to different music, but we were all kind of, you know, united with certain bands, especially like Oasis and Smiths and the Beatles, but then we all branch out and listen to different things on our own. But in a town like Las Vegas, where there's not many people listening to like Oasis, even for example, if you find that person, that's kind of who you gravitate towards. Even if within that you have your own differences, but I think those differences kind of make up what we are.